The reason why a lot of investors are talking about Uber stock right now is because of driverless car technology, both in favor of the business and against the business. How driverless car technology can help Uber's business and how driverless car technology can hurt Uber's business. So I'm going to talk a lot about that in this video. And I'm also going to talk about a couple of other factors that investors that are interested in Uber stock need to know about this company right now.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So interestingly, in the latest quarter, specifically in September, delivery monthly active customers exceeded 50 million for the first time in Uber's history. And order frequency in each of their last 6 cohorts has grown every year. So with each year that a user becomes accustomed with the Uber platform, they use the platform more frequently. So as they get used to it, they use it more. That's a great sign, right? That's a sign that the customer value proposition is really good. Because otherwise, if people, the more they use it, if they were using it then less after, they learn about the platform, they learn about the prices, the value, they then make a decision, well, this thing is not worth it for us. Let's not spend money here anymore. But the opposite is happening, right? The more people use Uber, the more they think to themselves, this is a pretty good value. Let's use it more often in more cases because it adds a lot of convenience to our life, and the price for that convenience that it adds is attractive. So let's use it more. And so that's a good sign for investors. And then Uber's investing to grow in grocery and retail, which is a much larger opportunity than just food delivery. The average grocery order is multiples that of the average food delivery order. And so the opportunity for fee generation is much higher, and the convenience advantage it adds is much higher in grocery and then also in retail, but grocery more so than retail because grocery is used by every household and the order size is large and the convenience advantage is also huge. The time it takes to go to your grocery store, collect all the items, check out, pay, park, all of that, and come back home. That's a lot of time. And if a customer can trade the time, right, they get time back in their life for some money. And that's extremely valuable for those individuals that are hard pressed with time. Most people are not privileged. I think of myself as being very grateful to have the privilege to work from home, make YouTube videos. I can make as many videos as I want or as little videos as I want. I choose the days I work, how many hours I work. If I want to spend more time with family, I can do that. Not everyone is privileged with that luxury. Many people have to be at work at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the commuting time, in addition to those work hours, leaves little time for other activities, and people feel like they're missing out in quality family time. And so if they can trade some dollars for more time with family, I think many people worldwide would be willing to make that trade. And I think it would be a very worthwhile trade. One of the best things you can spend your money on is to give up a few dollars so that you can have more time with family. And so I'm bullish on this prospect for Uber to grow this part of the business longer term. 16% of delivery users now are ordering grocery and retail, which is up 200% year over year. Uber One membership has now grown to over 25 million members, and that's up 70% year over year. These are people that pay a monthly fee for the Uber One membership, and they get discounts and lower fees when they use the product incrementally. So this is for users of Uber that are the highest value, people that use the app a lot for both rides and food delivery. In fact, members spend over 3 times what non-members spend every month. Because if you have an Uber One membership, then each incremental order becomes that much more attractive because you're paying less in fees for each incremental order because you're paying that monthly membership fee. In another part of an attractive growth opportunity for Uber is the advertising business, which is up over 80% year over year. 80% increase year over year. And of course, especially food delivery companies, especially restaurants, would be very interested in advertising to people on the Uber platform to influence the decisions when people go on the platform and they're hungry, they're looking for something to eat. Of course, a restaurant would like to put itself in front of that user who's just about to make an order. They're hungry, they're ready to order, they have the payment information on file at Uber, they're one or two clicks away from making the order. Of course, a restaurant would want to pop up in front of that buyer and say, purchase from us, we'll satisfy your needs. And Uber, very bullish on this category for Uber because it's also a very high margin opportunity. This part of the business is probably the most profitable part of Uber's business overall. There isn't the cost of goods sold associated with these orders. All right, now to the thing that's most talked about with Uber, and that is driverless cars or autonomous vehicles. So Uber is not sitting back and letting this happen, right? They're actively leaning into this trend. So they expanded their partnership with Waymo, which already has driverless cars on the road in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, and Phoenix. But now they're going to bring autonomous vehicles to Austin, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia in early 2025. And this is only going to be available through the Uber app. Uber also announced 5 new partnerships with Cruise, Coco, Wave, WeRide, and AV Ride. So they're not sitting back and losing to this autonomous vehicle trend. And autonomous vehicle companies like the ones mentioned here are going to be interested to partner with Uber because the price of that partnership, the customer acquisition cost, is so much lower if they just partner with Uber, because we just highlighted how many millions of customers Uber already has. And so the cost for a company like Waymo, the money they would have to spend on marketing to attract users would be way in excess of what they would have to pay Uber in order to partner with Uber to gain access to those millions of customers that Uber already has. And so this is another great opportunity for Uber. And I've talked about this opportunity for Uber, how driverless car technology is one of those situations where it's not like those other things I talked about, like advertising is a clear no-brainer positive benefit to Uber's business. It just depends how much positive. Is it this much positive, this much, or this much, right? But with autonomous vehicles, it's not like just positive for Uber. There's also the big risk of the downside. So you could have a really, really positive outcome with autonomous vehicles for Uber through partnerships, etc. But Uber can also have a really big negative outcome as a result of driverless cars, driverless car technology. If one of these companies like Waymo or Cruise or others, or Tesla, if it ever gets driverless cars on the road, it's been promising driverless cars for a decade now. If it ever actually gets driverless cars on the road, rumors are that Tesla will go for it on itself. It's building its own app and it wants to bypass Uber altogether, or all the driverless car apps altogether. If they are successful in that endeavor and they manage to steal Uber's customers, that could be a huge negative. So it's a wide disparity of outcomes that are possible here for Uber. But I think what the market has already priced into Uber stock is that it's going to be a negative. The market is expecting this to be a big negative for Uber because of dynamics, because of how excellent Tesla has been at marketing. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how great of a job Tesla has done at marketing, right? They create a product that's like this and they market it like this. And investors are convinced, absolutely convinced, that whatever Tesla says is what's going to happen. And that's just kudos to management for being able to market their products so effectively. Even marketing products that don't even exist yet, like robotics, right? So they've just done an excellent job in marketing, and that's brought down Uber's valuation because the market is just convinced that Uber's going to suffer as a result of that driverless car technology, when in my opinion, the driverless car technology is more of a risk. It could be really, really positive for Uber, but it can also be really, really negative. I acknowledge that. But I think the market is only pricing in the negative side of that. impact for Uber. And I think that's an opportunity for investors to capitalize on the lower valuation of Uber stock because of the overestimation of that risk. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.